Welcome back, TLP fans. It is a new week. It's a great week. We're 1 week closer to WrestleMania. I'm here as always with my good buddy and co-host Mike. Mike, before we get to you, I just want to tell you something. I'm mad. They did it again.
You're always mad, and I'm assuming they is a conspiracy, the government. I can only assume. Go ahead and tell us what you're mad at and who they is.
Mike, those damn dastardly name draggers WWE, they did it again. They cut out Otis Dozovic and Tucker Knight's names. They are now just Otis and Tucker. You know, Otis Dozovic and Tucker Knight sound like two fantastic professional wrestlers, but you know who Otis and Tucker sound like? The dudes who fixed my sink last week.
They do sound like some great plumbers, I'll tell you that.
I'm absolutely sick of it. And you know what? As a show of solidarity, I vote that you and I adopt last names until WWE agrees to give back all of the last names that they stole from superstars such as Andrade Cien Almas, Otis Dozovic, and Tucker Knight, Apollo Crews at one point, which they did give back. I'll give them that. And also, Big E. People forget, he's Big E Langston. I'm still hung up on Big E Langston, to be honest with you.
Alexander Rusev, don't forget.
Alexander Rusev, that was more of a first name, but you know, we'll still count it.
Full names. We're taking away full names.
Full names, absolutely.
I got a name for myself. You ready?
Okay.
From now on, I will not be referred to as Mike anymore. I will be referred to as Mike R. Phone. Mike R. Phone.
Mike R. Phone. I like it a lot. So, Mike R. Phone, my official name is now Walk Hard. It is no longer just Walk. It is now Walk Hard. If you would like my full name, it is Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. But, you know, Walk Hard will do. The Dewey Cox story is more of a middle name that you can say it if you want, but you don't have to.
My theory on why they dropped the last names is not because Dozovic is too hard to say. It's because they didn't like the all night joke. Because Tucky Knight can go all night. They just did not like that. They came out and said it like a week or two ago, and they just said, "Oh boy, this is not gonna fly on PG. We're already spicing it up a little too much. We can't have Renee and Corey Graves crackling at every little 69 and sex innuendo there is."
It's like Mauro Ranallo catching himself when at TakeOver Phoenix when he was calling the Bianca Belair and Shayna Baszler match, and Belair used her hair to as the whip like she always does, and he was like, "When in doubt." And then he caught himself because he was going to say "whip it out." And he was like, "I can't say that." So I can't remember what he said, but I remember him not saying that. And I remember thinking how big of an opportunity it was that he just missed.
Man, that's gonna be my new saying. When in doubt, whip it out. And they're like, "What? You can't say that?" And I'm like, "Oh, you don't follow Bianca Belair."
So what you're telling me right now is that you don't like Bianca Belair. That's all I'm going to say whenever people try and stop me from saying it.
And with that, we have taken our... Who is this rival? Who is they? I still don't really know who they is. Is it WWE?
Yeah, it's WWE.
Okay, I don't know if it's WWE. I guess I want to say it's like someone inside of WWE. I guess WWE is a good all-around picture, but I wanted to find the specific people that are... I'm going to call it HR. I'm calling it HR.
All right, it's the
or
naming
PR.
department.
Maybe PR.
Yeah, you know what? This is exactly what it is. It's WWE HR because they don't want to have to keep writing really long names on all the forms, so they just shorten the names.
All right, that's it. WWE HR, we're rivals. Good luck.
There aren't rivals.
We're going after you. We're not stopping. Last names are for everybody.
You can't steal someone's identity like that. That's all I'm going to say.
I did see a funny tweet. It was just who did Randy Orton face tonight? Mustafa Ali. It was just Randy versus Ali. It was Daniel versus Jeff. It was hysterical.
Daniel versus Jeff.
That's ridiculous.
That's so stupid.
All right. At least give him a cool nickname like Razor Ramon. We could have Onomatopoeia Otis.
Or just name them after heavy caterpillar equipment. So Tucker Knight could be the backhoe or something like that, and Otis could be, how did they not, he could be Otis the Dozer Dozovic? Come on. How did they not see this before? Come on. God, they are just missing opportunities left and right, and I am not here for it.
All right. With that, let's jump into Raw. I guess since we're already talking about Otis and Tucker Tucker. I don't want to call him Otis and Tucker. It's just not right. I'm just going to call him Dozovich and Knight. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it's Dozovich and Knight.
No, Mike, drop. You can't do it.
Mike Arfone.
Mike Arfone, you can't do it. You can't give in. You got to use their full names whenever possible.
You're right. Otis Dozovich, Tucker Knight. We had a fatal 4-way tag team match, whatever they like to call it. 4 corners tag team match. There was 4 teams, and it was for the number 1 contenders match for the Raw Tag Team Championships. We had the Revival. We had Lucha House Party. We had the B Team. The B Team was even there, and Heavy Machinery. Heavy Machinery's second number 1 contender appearance match in 6 days. So we saw the Heavy Machinery, who got a fair amount of offense in. They looked good. They got a lot of offense in. There looks like WWE's real high on them. They're wanting to push them. The Revival pulled it out, as kind of expected with the teams that were in there. It's still a little too early on Heavy Machinery. What's your thoughts on Revival getting this match?
So I think I agree definitely with what you said. It is probably a little early for Heavy Machinery to be getting title opportunities. However, that being said, I would argue in both of these bullshit 4-corner rule tag team fatal 4-way matches or whatever the fuck WWE is doing with them, that they have been the teams that stood out the most to me, and I kind of think that bodes really well for them going forward. But I agree that the Revival getting the win was probably the right call. However, also that being said, I think that they're probably going to lose, which disappoints me because they should be the tag team champions.
I did hear, I think over the weekend, so this kind of made me even more lenient to the Revival, that the Revival and Gable and Rude, man, I forgot who the Raw Tag Team Champions were last night when they first announced the number 1 contender match for the championship. And I was like, who's the champions? I was like, oh yeah, that's right. But anyway, Rude and Gable, they had the tag team match against the Revival, and they went 30 minutes in a house show over the weekend, so I was kind of not surprised. So I guess they're gearing them up for a pretty good match at Elimination Chamber, or at least a good showcase match.
I hope so. I hope that's like kind of a match that brings tag team wrestling back to the main roster, because I feel like it's been missing it for a while.
Yeah, I think it's just a lack of tag teams on Raw, especially. I mean, SmackDown tags have been pretty good. It's just been kind of repetitive because it's been the same 4 teams for the last year and a half.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. It's definitely worse on Raw than it is on SmackDown, but I still just think that, like, all of the good tag team matches we've had in the past are from SmackDown, so I guess I agree with you on that front. Just, I don't know. I guess I'm just kind of upset that I'm seeing all these amazing tag matches at NXT, and I'm like, wow, this isn't, like, hard to do. Like, just let 2 good teams go at it, you know? Like, push the Revival. Like, just put some emphasis on the tag teams, like, for goodness sakes.
All right.
Oh, well.
2 more points. One being, we were talking about the stupid fatal 4-way, crazy banana tag team matches.
I hate these rules. I hate them so much.
I don't remember the last time I just saw a 2-on-2 tornado tag match, just with all competitors in the ring at the same time, just going at it. Bring back some tornado tags. I want that. The other thing, you don't like tornado tags?
No, I just hate the like fatal the triple threat like tag team rules that they like go by. I hate them. They're the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
All right. So the second thing I wanted to say, apparently there's people that just Twitter people. Maybe they're just looking for something to be upset with. They're not on board with Heavy Machinery. I know we're both real big Heavy Machinery guys. We think Otis and Tuck.
This is a pro Heavy Machinery podcast.
We think Otis Dozovich is the most hilarious, and he's just a powerhouse, and he can be a star in this company. And we think Tucker Knight's a phenomenal wrestler. I don't know. I don't understand what people are saying. They're saying they're slow. They look lost out there. I don't see that at all. And they're like, oh, they're too gimmicky, too funny. I'm like, it's okay. You can be funny and you still be entertaining. I mean, look at the New Day. You mean what?
Look at the New Day.
That's what I just said. Yeah, look at the New Day.
Yeah. See, great minds think alike.
I mean, and then I don't know. I like them bringing out the Bushwhacker stuff. I like them using the Scotty 2 Hottie stuff. They're just using 2 cool Bushwhackers. They're combining what's great, and they're being a little powerhouse. Some you could even call them like the Road Warriors, the Animal and Hawk. What is that group called? Road Warriors, right? No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Road Warriors.
The Legion of Doom. Legion of Doom. LOD. Legion of Doom. That's what it is. They call them Road Warriors sometimes, I think.
I made myself look like an asshole, but it's okay.
I gotta look up who the Road Warriors are. Now I'm so confused.
Anyway, here, I'll talk for a minute. Yeah, so I definitely can see why people say they're, like, slow in the ring, but my response to that is, like, have you ever seen, like, a Hoss tag team? Like, that's how they, like, move. And I think they move pretty... They don't move, like, as well as, like, the War Raiders, I'd say, but, like, they still are definitely, like, move pretty well for big guys. And, I mean, I've seen nothing wrong with them being, like, a funny, gimmicky tag team who has, like, a run or two with the titles at some point in their career. And, I mean, I think they could do a good job with it. And they've been entertaining as hell and putting on pretty good matches the last, like, couple of weeks. They've been on both Raw and SmackDown. So that means they're doing it with different people. So, I mean, come on. How can you... It's one thing to say, like, you don't like them. Like, okay, that's fine. But, like, don't sit here and tell me they're bad, you know?
I agree. Completely agree. I love them. They're going to be fantastic. I think they're going to be fantastic. They're already pretty over with the crowd. The crowd has the biggest reactions out of all the tag teams. Well, at least over in that Raw tag team match, they had the biggest reaction with them.
They did, for sure.
And it's Road Warriors and Legion of Doom. It's both. That's what I kind of thought. I don't know how I confused myself so hard. I guess it's confusing when you weren't even really born in that time period and then you came into it, but you know. Alright, let's move on. Let's talk. Do you want to talk? When do we want to do Becky Lynch?
Do we want to finish Raw segment with Becky Lynch because Raw decided to finish their show last night with an absolutely abysmal tag team match, so we won't end our Raw segment with that?
Let's just talk real quickly then on Kurt Angle and whatever the hell that was last night. So Kurt Angle had that abysmal tag team match. I don't really know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing to Kurt Angle. I want to see Kurt Angle get a nice send-off, and this feud is just kind of boring. It seems like everyone in this feud has just lost momentum, and it's just not great.
No, it was not entertaining by any means. The only good outcome I can see from this is if, like I tweeted earlier last night, that if Corbin and Angle do end up having a WrestleMania match, that it's a career versus tattoo match, and Kurt Angle gets to pick the head tattoo that Baron Corbin gets on his bald scalp. My vote, personally, is for a picture of Kurt Angle doing an angle slam on Baron Corbin, on top of Baron Corbin's head, so that he can always have a nice little reminder, when he goes to shave his head in the morning, he's like, damn it.
I think it should be...
But in order to get that, though, we have to sit through a match between Kurt Angle and Baron Corbin, and I'm not too intent on doing that, so...
I think it'd be better if Baron Corbin got a tattoo of Kurt Angle's bald head on Baron Corbin's bald head, so it's a bald head inception.
I like that a lot more. That's way better.
Alright, anything else to add to this garbage
No,
segment?
that's literally the only thing I had about that, because that was so awful. I just hated everything about that.
We got Jeff Jarrett and the Road Dogg, some more nostalgia acts in Raw. They're coming back. I don't know what they're doing with this either. They're turning Elias heel face. I love Jeff Jarrett and Road Dogg being back. I'm enjoying it, but don't know what they're doing with it.
Alright, while we're on that subject too, let's talk about the fact that we need to send a thank you note to Renee Young for giving us the meme of the damn year. I mean, that little mischievous look that she had in her eye in that picture, holy crap. I could have wrote memes off that face she made for ages. And we did. How many tweets did we end up writing off that one meme?
There's probably around 10 memes. It was enjoyable. I enjoyed it a lot. But yeah. I wish they would have caught on a little more, but they were fun. I enjoyed them.
It was more of a joke between you and me, just going back and forth, alternating, making funny memes out of it, I think. We had one or two of them that got a like or two or something like that, but I was just laughing to myself the entire time, thinking them up as the show was going on, thinking of them for every single scenario that came up. I'm still laughing at it.
Anything you want to add to Jeff Jarrett, Road Dogg, Elias? I think Elias is really good as a heel. I think Elias is better as a heel than he is face. So I
think he is too. I also am kind of curious if, Jeff Jarrett, when he smashed the guitar on Elias's back, the guitar didn't break. So I'm kind of curious what the dealio with that is.
It could have been a bad gimmicky guitar, or just didn't crack him good enough. Jeff Jarrett's used to hitting people over the head with it. The head smashes it. Maybe that's something to do with it.
Yeah, or maybe I don't know. I'm not gonna. I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know. Bad faulty guitar work. Maybe we just need to get a little stronger. Jeff Jarrett's got to get back in the gym. He's got to start working those fingers, get the strum going. We need some work, Jeff. Pick it up, Double J.
He needs to take some advice from Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly seems like a guy who could, smash a nice, air guitar over someone's back and make it snap real good.
That'd be a pretty funny triple threat match. Jeff Jarrett,
that
Elias.
Would be a guitar match between those three. All right, book that for WrestleMania weekend at some point.
I'm trying to think of any other guitars we had, but yeah, that's about it. I remember as a kid, I had this Jeff Jarrett action figure guy, and his little thing, it came with a guitar, and it was like in 4 pieces, so I would always just use it to drill all the other wrestlers, and it would just split in 4 pieces, and I always could just put it back together and just keep using it. It was awesome.
That actually sounds like the greatest toy ever.
It was. It was. Alright, with that, we had Bayley and Sasha Banks go on to the Elimination Chamber as we thought. Anything you want to add about that? Nikki Cross and Alicia?
They have to be the favorites going in, right? They have to be.
I guess so. I mean, yeah, they're definitely the favorites. I think the Iconics are going to win, but I think it'll be Bayley and Sasha are probably the favorites.
I don't know if they are, honestly. I honestly think that Bayley and Sasha are going to win.
I'm like 99% sure, after watching SmackDown, we'll talk about this more later, that Naomi's going to pin Mandy to take them out. So.
Oh yeah, no, that's a pretty safe bet, I think. But also, I'm just really, I'm still like holding on to that visual of all of the 4 horsewomen in the ring after WrestleMania holding up all the titles. I have my heart set on that, and I'm going to make my picks revolving around that from now leading up until WrestleMania.
Okay. I think that's Raw, except for the Becky Lynch stuff. So you want to save all our Becky Lynch? Let's just do Becky Lynch now, because it'll transition easily to SmackDown.
Yeah, I think so too. Let's do that.
All right. You lead it. You lead the way.
All right. So Stephanie McMahon comes out, and she starts to give Becky Lynch an introduction. She should know the man needs no introduction. Then all of a sudden, glass shatters. You hear Becky Lynch come out, and cutting off Steph in the ring like she should. And Steph decides to cop a little attitude, if we're being honest. She starts telling Becky that she needs to go see a doctor for her knee. Excuse me, Steph, my knee hurts. Do you think I've gone to see a doctor? No, if I haven't gone to see a doctor, the man's not going to go see a doctor. Come on. Sheesh. And so then finally Becky gets some sense into her, and after Steph suspends her for not going to see the doctor, which, by the way, that kind of seems like that's like a workplace grievance that Becky should be filing.
Can I pause you for a second?
Yeah.
Remember your spot. You remember your spot?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay, so I just came up with a hilarious scenario. It's going to involve Daniel Bryan versus Becky Lynch. So Becky Lynch's whole thing is she doesn't believe in doctors. She never got her vaccinations. And then Daniel Bryan comes out. He's just screaming, "You never got your vaccinations, you unintelligent person." And this is just the whole feud. Just doctors versus non-doctors. It involves Daniel Bryan bringing doctors with him to the ring.
Mom.
It's what?
Becky Lynch is like an anti-vax mom, and Daniel Bryan's just like yelling at her all the time to get her kids vaccinated. Becky's like, I don't have any kids.
Daniel Bryan puts Eric Rowan through doctor school, maybe nursing school, something a little quicker. So Eric Rowan can give her the vaccinations if he loses. It's a vaccinations versus some other sort of match. Vaccinations versus
It's a vaccination versus it's a vaccination versus title match. If Becky wins, she gets to roll Daniel Bryan's title into a joint and smoke it.
Oh, that's funny. I was going to say if Daniel Bryan loses, he has to take an Irish car bomb and drink a Guinness.
That's pretty funny too.
All right, back to your spot. I told you to remember the spot, and this is why. Go ahead.
Fuck. Hang on.
I
Give me a
told
second.
you to remember it.
Shut up. I did remember it for a minute, then you got me distracted. Fuck. Just play the last bit over again.
All right. pausing. So yeah, we definitely didn't pause. We finally actually remembered where we were. Walk, where were we?
Oh yeah, so I was talking about Becky Lynch needing to file a grievance with the Human Resources Department of WWE. But so see, I'm just talking myself out of this now. She doesn't need to file a human resources complaint against them with the HR department because we know that if she does, they'll probably just drop her last name and make her just Becky. And Becky's just such a bitch name, and everyone's just going to refer to her as like that bitch Becky, and that's like not what we want. And we know we have this long running feud with WWE creative or not creative, human resources,
yep.
And it's just, I don't know. I'm torn now. I've talked myself into this and out of this 100 times now.
Yeah. Maybe Becky should just go see Ronda's doctor.
Yeah.
Because
I'm sorry. I just had a great thought. Actually, it was a terrible visual in my head. I had the scene remaking of Eric Rowan giving Becky Lynch her like vaccination shots. And I had that scene again of Dean Ambrose getting the shot in his ass, and I was like, "Oh God!" that like cal came flooding back to me, and I didn't want to think about that tonight. Now I have Dean Ambrose's ass in my head, getting a needle stuck into it, and I don't like this.
I forgot about Dean Ambrose's pro-vaccination thing, but what I was gonna say is, if Becky has a problem with the injury with the doctors, maybe she should just go see Ronda's doctor Or maybe Ronda is a doctor. Ronda already prescribed her ice and Advil, bitch. So maybe we just got to go the ice and Advil.
So I think Ronda Rousey went to the Peyton Manning School of Hard Knocks. If you remember that commercial he did a while back where that guy got like tackled really hard and he's just like, shake it off, rub some dirt on it, Johnny. So I think they went to like the same school, medical school, you know.
I mean, that makes sense.
It's a school I want to go to.
School of Hard Knocks.
School of Hard Knocks. I took night classes.
I think I like that what Ronda said. She just sounds better as a heel, and she can actually be kind of a badasser. It fits her more.
Think Ronda's definitely, that's her persona. You gotta just let her be her. She just gets mad. You can tell like she gets mad about some of the stuff. I feel like you just gotta let her be her, honestly.
I want to see her just go off with the crowd because they're just booing her too much, and she's just done with it. And she just starts yelling at the crowd, calling us trolls, and that'd be that'd be everything we need.
The little promos she cuts in between the matches where she like smushes all the words together and it just becomes like one thing because she's like kind of out of breath and she's trying to cut a promo and she like can't get all the words out fast enough and so they're like spilling out over each other. That's not my favorite thing about it, but my favorite thing about it is when everyone on Twitter like starts debating about like what she was actually trying to say. That's my favorite part of Ronda Rousey every Monday night.
I'll give it to you, Ronda. You always have a soundbite every week.
Dude, she gets us talking about her. That's not every superstar can do that.
Ronda's been great. Ronda's been fantastic. I love Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, I've loved her. I've loved every second of Ronda in WWE.
Ronda had the tweet. She said, "Without Ronda, Becky's never main event in WrestleMania," which is sort of true. But without Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey's not main event in WrestleMania. I don't believe. So they're perfect for each other. They need each other. And so we have let's talk more about the Stephanie McMahon angle. The Stephanie McMahon, she gets her ass kicked by Ronda Rousey. Very deserving. We were saying that Becky needs a non-submission finisher that would just look way more badass. And it would mean so much more if you had Stone Cold Stunning Vince. I don't want to see Becky throw Stephanie in a disarmer. I need to see that stunner-like thing.
Yeah, it needs to be a quick hitter, something that you can just hit her out of nowhere with, and everyone loses their minds. I'm telling you, my vote still is for the Stone Cold Stunner. Becky needs to hit the stunner on one of the authority figures soon, before I just quit watching, because I need Becky Lynch hitting a stunner. I need that graphic just ingrained into my head, and I need Stone Cold to like retweet it and like give me a "oh hell yeah, brother."
I just got the best visual in my head ever. So it's basically a play on Owen Hart. It's just a play on Owen Hart. So I think Becky should just adopt the pile driver, and I think it would just be like so simple and just drop like Stephanie on her head, and then Stephanie comes out in a neck brace the next week, and then Becky just has the T-shirt that says Becky 316 says I just broke your neck.
That's a really good visual. I like that one. That's really good.
That's
some powerful imagery.
I know, it's awesome. Could you imagine Stephanie just being so angry, coming out in the neck brace, and just yelling at Becky? Oh, that'd be phenomenal.
I do have like one kind of semi-serious thing I want to say. I think Becky Lynch needs to stop slapping people because she slapped Triple H tonight. I think she needs to punch him. She punched Charlotte like 2 weeks ago. What was that? Or no, that was just last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. That's that male versus female dynamic, I guess. And I don't know.
I just want to see her like punch. Like slaps are cool when they're like, like they have their purpose. Like you see a lot of like the MMA guys who like transition over from MMA, or girls too. They do like the open palm like strikes. Like that's different. But like when you're just like standing up and you slap someone, it's like, come on, just punch him in the face. Like that's so much more like realistic. Like I wouldn't have I don't know. I feel like I'm nitpicking a lot right here, but I'm kind of reaching. But
I think it would have been better if she just flicked off Triple H. We didn't quite get into the Triple H stuff yet, but I wanted to say one more thing about the Stephanie. We just know it's going to be. They're just giving us the McMahon versus Austin kind of thing. They're kind of just resurfing that little thing. The face versus the authority, that thing. At what point? Go ahead.
I have to say one thing. I did see a tweet from Dave Meltzer. Someone was asking about that, and they were like, hey, there's a lot of parallels between all this, and he said, it's not a coincidence, is all he said.
Yeah, no doubt. It's the most popular thing they've ever done. Why wouldn't they want to do that?
Because they were talking specifically about the storyline back in, what was that, 97? After Stone Cold
98. 98 WrestleMania.
Huh?
98 WrestleMania.
Yeah, there you go, thank you. And he got hurt, and there was like actually real life question about whether or not he'd be able to make it, and so that was what it was in reference to. But
Yeah, it was definitely 98. 97 WrestleMania was Stone Cold Bret Hart. 98 was the Mike Tyson situation.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold.
Thank you, you're right.
Alright. So yeah, and then we have so I mean, we've had all that stuff. Meltzer, he didn't talk about the arrest. We were talking about the arrest last night. We're only like 2 or 3 weeks away, maybe a week or two away, from Becky getting arrested by WWE or Stephanie, and she just comes back out. And I don't know what she could bring out. She doesn't have like the beer truck. I guess she'll just come out in the cop car, and she just backs out and kicks Stephanie's ass.
Just to come back in a Guinness truck.
I guess she doesn't have the beer drinking thing. She needs to come out with something.
What if she comes back in a truck full of like smoothies? Like, what if she comes back in a smoothie truck and it's like the New Day and Heavy Machinery making smoothies in the back?
That'd be hysterical. That'd be too funny. It needs to be pretty like serious though.
I agree. I think if you do like kind of a redo of the Royal Rumble where she like they have the visual of her like leaving in the cop car, and then you just have the cop car like come pulling back in, and you're like, wait a minute, what's that cop car doing? Oh my God, it's Becky Lynch! By God, Becky Lynch is driving the cop car, and she comes out and it's like there's like one of the handcuffs is like still attached, and the other one is like broken off or something like that, and you're like, how did she get out? And you're just like, what? And then, like, everyone's like, you have that visual of Steph in the middle of the ring, and, like, her eyes get all wide, like Vince's always would. And she's like, and then you hear music hits, and she, like, tries to start leaving, but she can't leave fast enough. And, that'd be incredible. I'm here. You know what? Again, I'm too good. If that doesn't happen, I'm just going to be disappointed now.
All we want is them to recreate Stone Cold versus Vince. That's all we want.
We like Stone Cold and Vince way too much. Like, too much for our own good. And Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch way too much for our own good, because we both know that, like, when it comes down to it, anything she does, we're going to eat up.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. We had another do you want to talk about this? With the Velveteen Dream said about our favorite star. My favorite star. Yeah, I think the Velveteen Dream might be your favorite star.
The Velveteen Dream is my favorite superstar. So the Velveteen Dream, he's got to go and he's got to clap back at Mick Foley saying that Becky is the most charismatic character in WWE, and then he's got to go.
No, he said the most charismatic entertainer in the world.
Entertainer in the world. So he's got to say that, and then he's got to. I don't even blame the Dream for this. I blame Mick Foley, because how is the Dream not supposed to take offense to that? The Dream is the most entertaining people in the world. The Dream is the most entertaining person in the world. Becky Lynch is the most entertaining person in the world. To ask me to choose between the two of them is like asking me to choose between, I don't know, Mike and Harry the Hugger. I mean, I
Mike,
can't
our
do
phone,
it.
please.
They're both a part of me. I can't do it. I love them both too much, and this leads me to what I eventually hope will be next year's WrestleMania main event: the Velveteen Dream versus Becky Lynch. If that happens, I think I would actually explode from happiness. I think I would have to stop watching wrestling at that point, because there would be no way that wrestling could go higher for me than that ever. And I just don't want that. I don't want it to you know what? I don't want it to happen because I would have to stop watching wrestling, but I do want it to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you just put yourselves in the mind of both of those characters, and I don't know what just happened. Which is great. With that, let's move on to SmackDown.
I put myself in the mind of the best character of all time, Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
Great.
Go on.
Great. So let's move on to, I guess we start out with the SmackDown Live. We had Triple H, Becky Lynch. Triple H, who cut a great promo. Well, I guess, okay, so Charlotte started in the ring. Charlotte had no purpose, didn't do anything actually, and Charlotte was kind of an afterthought. Triple H tells Charlotte.
I loved her promo work though, dude. She was so good. She's so fucking good.
I don't remember
dude.
even what she said in the beginning.
She was just being her like sarcastic asshole self, and it was amazing. Dude, she's so good.
She is very good.
Really
I'm just saying she was an afterthought in this piece, this part of that whole segment.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I mean, fair.
Okay. So Charlotte did say, she said something interesting. I completely lost. Forgot what I was going to say. But anyway, she was talking about how Becky steals all the gimmicks. Now she's Roman walking through the crowd. So Becky made her way through the crowd down to Charlotte. Becky Lynch gets in her face, and then we hear the music. Time to play the game. And then the King of Kings song, all that comes on. Triple H comes out, and Triple H they start bickering, blah, blah, blah. Triple H tells Charlotte, this isn't your fight. You have no business here. Send Charlotte to the back, which, I don't know if that says anything about the WrestleMania match. It could be something. Do you want to discuss that right now, or do you want to wait?
Keep going. We'll discuss that. We talk about after. Keep going. Keep going. You're on a roll.
All right. So we get that. Then we get the one-on-one with Triple H and Becky. Triple H is telling Becky off, hey, you're not acting like a champion. You just need to get your knee checked out. And then he's like, you know what it is? You're just scared to get your knee checked out. You don't want to... They're going to tell you it's okay, that your knee's good to go. You're afraid of Ronda. You don't want to face Ronda. You already... He said like a suicide mission, went into Raw. You got your face beat on purpose. You knew you were going to miss that match. You were afraid. You're ducking Ronda, and now you're doing it again because you know the doctors, they might just say, hey, you can go. And then Becky, stoic, looking fierce, just gives him the big one slap. And then Becky's talking about Stephanie. She's like, did the doctors clear her after I kicked her ass? Blah, blah, blah. And that's where we're at. Walker, Texas Ranger / Dewey Cox story. Tell me where we're at.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Reading. Let's read between the lines a little bit here. Triple H sends Charlotte to the back saying, "This doesn't concern you," but then also, so that would seem to point towards, oh hey, they're just not going to put her in the storyline. But then you also have later in the story a couple times. I know they showed. Well, it wasn't. It was the one time when they re-showed the promo from the beginning of the night when Corey Graves basically said, "Oh yeah, if Charlotte has a legitimate claim or whatever." So it's really, I can't figure out what you're trying to do with it, and I wouldn't hate if Charlotte got added to the match to make it a triple threat match in the main event. If that's what it takes to get that match in the main event, then okay, I'm willing to pay that price. But that being said, I would prefer it the other way, where it's still just Becky versus Ronda.
I agree. I want the one-on-one. Charlotte's not going to take away from this match too much. Well, she's not going to take away from it.
She's going to add to it.
She's going to add to the match, but I'm saying she would take away from the one-on-ones.
She'd take away from the hype, but she'd add to the match.
Yes. She would take away from the mystique of the one-on-one Becky versus Ronda. I mean, yeah, I agree with everything you said. I mean, that's what it is. I prefer the Becky versus Ronda match as well. With Ronda, the Authority. I would love Ronda go full heel and just joining forces with Stephanie and McMahon.
That's another thing. I meant to tweet this out last night. I completely forgot about it. It's interesting now that Stephanie and Ronda almost seem to have like the same kind of viewpoint. So it'd be interesting if they kind of, melded in the middle a little bit, kind of formed an unholy alliance, if you will. Considering a year ago they were in a match against each other at WrestleMania. So.
Yeah, I agree. They could. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what they do. I would love to see that. I don't know what Triple H is gonna. I don't know what they're gonna do. What the plan is with Becky for the next week or so. They might do more of the angle with the arrest, or maybe they just continue the suspension and they're just saying, Becky, go get your knee checked, and I don't know. But I'm enjoying it. I love it. Everything else feels great.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's been good. I've enjoyed it so far. Let's hope they just, whatever they do, they just can stay consistently, dedicated to the storyline. That's all I have to say. Let's just hope they stay dedicated to it.
Agreed. All right. So, yeah, and then we got. All right. So that's the Becky Lynch stuff. We love you, Becky. You're the man. Next, we get into the tag team match. The Good Brothers, who I always forget are a tag team. I love them. I wish they had done so much more. They need AJ Styles or Finn Balor. Just give them the faction, and it'll be all better. But other than that, I don't want to talk about that. We're going to talk about Rusev and Nakamura and Lana, the new trio, the heel faction from every other country in the world. Even though Lana's not really Russian, but whatever. Who cares?
We'll call it the League of Nations because they're not that good and they don't really do anything.
There was already a League of Nations like 2-3 years ago, and they were terrible.
Exactly. That's why I said that.
League of Nations 2, Electric Boogaloo. All right, so Rusev and Nakamura, they pick up the pinfall over the Good Brothers, helped by Lana and one good heel and one walking boot. What do you think about this? Is this going to be a future tag team? Is this just leading to a feud with Nakamura and Rusev? What do you think?
To be honest with you, I don't know that I can say. I really don't know. I don't think that Rusev and Nakamura are going to have another feud, but at the same time, I don't think this is a tag match, like a tag team for them going forward. So that leaves, well, then what is it going to be? And I just don't really know, to be honest with you. I don't know enough to really make a call.
I can see them having.
We need more time. I think we need more time to see how it progresses.
I kind of want to see them as a tag team. I think they'd have really good chemistry, and they'd have some really funny segments, and they would just be. They'd be really devastating. They'd be very vicious, and I think they can put on some pretty good tag matches. I think they'd be a very good tag team, and then Lana as some sort of dynamic can help them. But yeah, it's interesting. We'll see where it goes.
Mike, I know I talked about this joke earlier, and I'm going to go ahead and do it because I'm this proud of it. I was going to say it's pretty good that the Rusev and Nakamura versus the Good Brothers match was sponsored by Popeyes, since Popeyes is only made by Good Brothers in the South. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my bow and also go ahead and cancel our show really quick. But other than that, yeah, let's move on. I'm still really proud of that joke. I love Popeyes. This show is not sponsored by Popeyes, but I would like for it to be. So Popeyes, if you're listening, please go ahead and sponsor us.
All right, yeah, Popeyes. I'd love the endorsement too. I don't really like your commercials that much. I think they're kind of lame and corny, but I love your food.
No, the commercials are terrible. However, the food is great.
The $5 box, man. How's this food only $5?
I can listen. I could shotgun Popeyes biscuits like nobody's business.
Okay? Wow. That must be why you're getting that gut, but whatever.
Hey, just because my
you're looking
face
like a
is getting a
blogger.
little chubby, Just because my face is getting a little chubby doesn't mean that the waistline's getting soggy.
Your biscuits are looking. That you're a little few biscuits. You're a few biscuits away from looking like a real wrestling blogger. I'll tell you that.
I'm a few biscuits away from an Otis the Dozer Dozovic.
All right. So what else do we have? We have Naomi and.
I'm gonna keep talking. You're not gonna stop me. I'm gonna keep talking. All right. So I tweeted out the video that they did the interview of the Iconics back when they. When was that? What was the setting for that? It was
right after the Royal Rumble.
It was at the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, it was right after Royal Rumble once they got eliminated.
Okay, well then, and who was it? It was Kayla was like interviewing him or whatever, and Billie Kay graced us with the greatest soundbite to ever occur when she said, "You gotta be kidding me!" I can't really play it. So I can't.
I can play it. I'll play it right now.
I was gonna.
I got it right here. You ready?
You're gonna be joking me! You're gonna be joking me! You're gonna be joking me! You're gonna be joking me!
So I love that video so much, and I was not lying to you when I said I listened to it for 5 hours straight. I listened to it during every single commercial break during SmackDown Live tonight, and I want it to be like a new segment soundbite or something that we have from now on. We're going to find a way to incorporate it into the show. That's all I have to say about that, but I just wanted to make y'all aware that that's staying. It's here, and it's here to stay.
Hey, this is what my opinion on Raw's tag team match to end the show last night.
You're gonna be joking me! You're gonna be joking!
There we go. There we go. There's our You Gotta Be Joking Me
really
segment.
good. That was too good, Mike. I loved it.
It's too fast. I gotta make a better way to make it a better soundbite so it doesn't just keep repeating. I gotta turn the repeat off on it.
Yeah, so we'll figure it out. We'll get the tech department on that.
Yeah, we need a tech department. Anybody want to be on our tech department? All right.
It's gonna be Harry the Hugger. I already talked to him.
So then we have Naomi and who was it? It's Charlotte. Not Charlotte. Carmella. Naomi and Carmella. You said it right. I spoke over you, and that's my fault. I should have just waited for your turn, and I would have been correct. Yeah, Naomi and Carmella. They're joining forces for the Elimination Chamber. We have our six women's tag team for that. We saw a 3-way SmackDown match with Naomi eating a pin after looking phenomenal, looking powerful. She ate the pin from Mandy Rose after she gets distracted by, it was either Peyton Royce or Billie Kay, I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But yeah, so that just confirms, it just confirms that 100% Naomi is getting all her revenge at Elimination Chamber on Mandy Rose, and she's going to beat her ass, and I'm scared because the beautiful Mandy is going to, she might get destroyed. She might get mutilated by that chamber. I'm just terrified. I feel bad for Corey Graves. Could you imagine Corey Graves right now? Think about what Corey Graves is going through his head.
Well, I think it would be really, really funny if they do have some sort of like face busting like spot in Elimination Chamber where like Naomi does a little X Factor like on the cage or something like that. Mm-hmm. The Elimination Chamber. Like on top of one of the pods or something to Mandy, and it's like, oh, her face is all messed up, and she has to wear one of those like Kyrie Irving masks.
That's what I was just thinking. I was just thinking that, man. You were playing it so well, you had me thinking in the future for it.
See, I think that would be hilarious, and I think the funniest part about that would be hearing Corey Graves' reaction to the whole thing.
I think so too, and then you can just see Mandy just being just so upset, just embarrassed by the mask on her face. Oh, that'd be perfect. I would love it. That's probably what they're doing, honestly.
I would love that. That'd be amazing.
Speaking of, we forgot, Corey Graves had another moment on Raw where he was getting a little, Alexa Bliss was getting a little flirty. She was doing the sexual thing, which she's been doing the last 2 or 3 weeks, which is a little weird. We got our first EC3. We finally got EC3, a debut. He didn't speak, still hasn't spoke. But he finally got a match. He rolled up Dean Ambrose. I love Dean Ambrose's promo. It was hilarious. I don't know if it's really a promo, but he was just so funny. Where's EC 1 and 2? What else? The Raw sexual magnetism to him, Nia Jax.
I really wish we had a cam on Renee Young that time when he's like, "You're not the first woman to, not be able to resist my raw animal sexual magnetism." I kind of wanted there to be a Renee cam where she's like, What?
That was
Like
great.
the shit they make you say. Like, come on.
That was so funny. I enjoyed that. Dean Ambrose did take the pin from EC3 in a very disappointing match, kind of. But we did see EC3 get his debut. You liked the match? I thought it was just kind of short.
No,
It seemed like they
I
just threw
just
it
meant
together.
the match was disappointing. That's what I meant.
Oh yeah, it was just. I mean, they just threw it really quick. All right.
It's terrible that they're taking away like the best part of EC3, which is like his mic abilities. Pretty much, he's a good wrestler, but like he's much better on the mic. I think it's horrible that they're like basically making him a mute and taking away his entire like his best arsenal. I don't know if they're like trying to punish him or like make him be a better wrestler or something. I don't know, but I'm upset by it.
I think they're just playing us. They're just waiting to use the microphone, and they're gonna keep teasing us with the thing, and he's finally gonna speak, and we're just gonna be pumped. Everyone's gonna lose their mind. I think they're just working us.
People are finally gonna hear his voice, and they're gonna be like, "Wait, is that him that says I am the top 1% in the beginning of his theme?" And then we're gonna be like, "Yes, it is." Like, I've been telling y'all this for 2 months now.
All right, let's wrap it up. Let's talk about the intellectual partners. I know they're intellectual peers, but I'm going to call them intellectual partners. Rowan with an O as a recycling thing, and we got Daniel Bryan, the new Daniel Bryan, the face of Washington. What did they call him?
I don't remember, but I have a point though that I want to ask. Are intellectual partnerships legal in the state of Washington?
Oh, 100%. Everything's legal in Washington. As long as it's healthy, it's legal there.
Okay, good.
As long as it's eco-friendly, it's legal there. I won't say good for you. I'll say eco-friendly.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that match was chaos. That
everything about it was chaos. I didn't like those. I don't like the matches where they just throw one-on-one matches with guys in the Elimination Chamber. I know you got to like keep everyone relevant, keep it all fresh, but it is kind of hard. I'm glad we only have one more week of build to it because you don't really need to build for a Elimination Chamber. It's grueling as is. I mean, they do the same thing with Money in the Bank. You already know what you're getting out of it.
The one thing I actually am kind of like concerned about is that there's almost going to be like too many people in the Elimination Chamber for me to like keep track. I feel like I'm going to like lose track of people, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. We'll see. I think it'll be okay. I did like Daniel Bryan yelling at, who did he yell at the end in his promo? After the whole thing?
Yeah, it was like Kayla or Charlie Caruso or someone like that.
It was just so funny because they always do this now where they come up to him right after the match and then someone just starts yelling at him like, "Why are you right in my face? Why are you doing this?" That's what Billie Kay did at the Royal Rumble. She's like, "We just got eliminated."
Are you joking? You gotta be joking me.
What do you mean how we feel? We lost. But yeah, I did enjoy that. I kind of like what Rowan's doing. Rowan looks really menacing, and it's been good. I think it adds more to the Daniel Bryan character. No way Daniel Bryan loses at Elimination Chamber. Just no way. There's absolutely no way. We got to find Daniel Bryan someone he can go with at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
it might be Samoa Joe.
Really.
It might be Samoa Joe.
That would not be horrible.
Samoa Joe's been the most. He's looked like the most destructive in the lead into Elimination Chamber. He's looked the most dominant.
Yeah.
All right. That's all I have for SmackDown and Raw.
A quick little AEW alert. AEW.
Wait. Can we have a soundbite for the AEW alert? Can you make us a noise? The breaking AEW. What is that? A goat? A sheep?
Yeah, we'll call it a goat. Yeah, you know what? Let's call it the goat nose.
Okay. The goat what?
The goat noise.
We'll call the AEW goat alert.
All right, so the AEW goat alert of the week. AEW, all their whole like officiating crew, their whole like staff was in Atlanta this week for the Super Bowl. And Mike, can you think of anything in Atlanta that would possibly benefit AEW?
Replenishing hydration drinks. I went to a beer festival this weekend, and I was given a lot of energy drinks. So that's got to be it, right?
Yeah, Coca-Cola as well.
Coca-Cola.
I was thinking more along the lines of production value. What else? What else could you?
Waffle
what else
House. Waffle House.
Waffle House. Waffle House. I think they're trying to get Waffle House the official partner of AEW. Also, I think.
Home Depot. They can build the ring.
Okay, yeah, that too. Also, Mike, are you aware of any elderly, salty billionaires who might still be a little mad at Vince McMahon for past injustices that they feel have been done against them?
Donald Trump?
Yes, actually, exactly right. So,
I can think of a million, actually.
So not long story short, but I guess the general feeling is that all the AEW staffers, including Cody and the Young Bucks and all them, were at Atlanta this week with a meeting with TNT and Ted Turner.
Well, no, they didn't say who it was with. They just said there was a TV. They were working on a TV deal in Atlanta, so we can only assume that it's with Ted Turner.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. I guess that's what I was trying to get at. But yeah, so this is Mike and I talked about this. This is Ted Turner not letting the Monday Night Wars. He is not willing to let bygones be bygones.
I love it. I love that they had Ted Turner just come back into fray. We're just like, oh, welcome to Atlanta. And then we have the Ted Turner talk. So maybe we'll see him on TBS, TNT, maybe True TV. I bet it'll be True TV. If it goes anywhere, it's going to be True TV.
Like True TV or something. I need like a really long extended edit where it's like the Undertaker doing his little sit up, and it's got like Ted Turner's face on it, and then as he he choke slams Mr. McMahon, but like in his hand it's like got the AEW logo over it, and he like choke slams Mr. McMahon somewhere, and it'd be like Ted Turner choke slamming Mr. McMahon with AEW. That'd be pretty funny.
If AEW is going to get this deal done, they need to get it done before March Madness, because that's when they got TNT, TBS. They can get so much advertising there for their new company.
That's a pretty good idea, actually. That's a really good idea, actually.
Yeah. So that's our AEW GOAT breaking news update. I don't think I have anything else to add to the show. You got anything?
No, man. That's all I got for this week. Be sure to subscribe, like our podcast, follow us on Twitter at TablesTLP. Follow along with us as we live tweet all the great wrestling that WWE and the other independent wrestling promotions has to offer every week. Mike, what do you have for our fine listeners at home?
Make sure to give us a rating. It doesn't have to be a 5-star. I understand it. Sometimes we put on 4-star performances. We need to stay humble. We're not always 5 stars, right? We strive for 5 stars every week. We know we're like 4.99. You can round down to 4.
You got to record a 3 to appreciate a 5.
Exactly. Don't give us a 3. If you give us a 3, I'm done. I'm quitting. If you give me lower than a 2, I know you're just trolling us. Come on.
If you rate us 3 stars, Mike Arphone will cancel the podcast. So
I will 100% cancel. We will never be heard of again. And don't be a wise ass trying to give us a 3, because now I know your game plan. Now I know if you give us a 3, you're just like, ha, I see what I'm doing here. Nuh-uh. I ain't falling. You ain't tricking me. I've been around. So yeah, rate, subscribe, follow on Twitter at TablesTLP. We're going to try and bring you some more content, more blogs, more funny stuff, more things like that. Walk's going to be doing another promo this week. Walk, do you have a promo in mind you want to do? I don't know one you should do this week.
I think you should just maybe do the Billy Kay, or you got to be joking me.
That's a 1-second clip. I don't want you to do a 1-second clip.
I'm gonna do the 1-second clip, but I'm gonna do it over and over and over again. And that's my challenge for this week, because I have to record it for like a minute straight.
No, I don't want to see that. I'm gonna look up like a Jordan Grace promo, and I might just get you to do one of those.
Oh, thank God! I love Jordan Grace. She is the best follow on Twitter I've ever had. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it.
If we don't get Rhea Ripley as our first guest, we're getting Jordan Grace as one of our guests.
I stand by, 100% stand by. The Rhea Ripley will be the first guest on this show.
Hey, next week, can we bring back our whoever gets the most likes on Twitter, or whoever gets the least likes on Twitter, has to do something challenge?
Yeah, we'll think about it. We'll
I want to bring that back next week.
We'll talk.
All right, guys. Well, that's the show. Thanks for joining us. Top beef out.
Top bitches out.
And beef. Mostly beef.
Ice and Advil, bitch.
Hey, full names forever. Top beef out.